I talked about OU for the first time and compare Pokemon. I don't play Pokemon competitively, but I do pay attention to it because I find it interesting how people play for the IVs to get a pretty good moveset on your Pokemon. And a couple of Pokemon have been strapped to the ban in the Ubers. The Pokemon now annihilate CU and Psychoizer. So why are all of these Pokemon banned are all separate. First is Annihilate, which is banned because of the move Rage Fist. And you would say, but it's banned the move. Oh wait, Primate runs it and Primate's are now you. So Annihilate is not it might just be a broken Pokemon as well. So Annihilate has been banished to Ubers. CU with the legendary Fist Pokemon. The most it's basically a Pokemon that is very, very hard to defeat. It's another legendary, which legendaries are typically banned to Ubers, especially really good ones, and CU is banned to Ubers now, which will open the door for other fire types to become prominent in the meta for Pokemon because CU is banned. Same thing with Annihilate as well. Other Pokemon that will become more used once the Uber Pokemon are gone. It happened with Annihilate becoming more popular once Houndstone, once, of course, Powerfin was banned, which those Pokemon were banned as well. And then we have Psychoizer, which was banned for the move Suntail, and is the most broken option for that move. Or this bad will make Orphle more popular in the Pokemon metagame. Obviously, Orphle became, down to RU, but I think it's going to go back up to OU as well because of the move Sentail. Because a lot of people who have been writing Psychoizer will be saying outright Orphle. I think the thing that makes this Pokemon pretty battable is simply because it's pretty powerful as well. It also has to move with Generate, the ability of a Generator, which is an ability that makes it regenerate itself, which makes it pretty powerful as well. If you look at the ability with Generator, it restores 1/4 of its maximum HP when it switches out, which makes Sentail pretty overpowered. Word. 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 Because of this ability. Of course, other Pokemon have the ability with Generator as well, but Psycho-Eyes is the most overpowered Pokemon with that ability because it has the ability Sentail, move Sentail, and this ability makes Sentail really overpowered because it has Regenerator and it can use a move which Sentail is basically Baton Pass, and Baton Pass is a bad move, and then bad move because Orphle is an RU, and doesn't have the, ability with Generator. It also has the ability Sense Grid, which gets rid of all stats effects as well. So you have two pretty overpowered abilities as well. Psychoizer, it has Sentail, Draco Meteor, U-Turn, and Knockoff / Rapid Spin, which is a pretty good moveset as well. So, yeah, that is a pretty overpowered Pokemon that got banned to Ubers. I think one Pokemon that's gonna be gone from Ubers is gonna be Houndstone. So Houndstone was banned to Ubers relatively quickly because of Rash Specs. But there's another Pokemon, because of Pokemon Home, a Pokemon from Resident Arceus is going to be able to learn Rash Specs, and that's Basculegion, and that Pokemon is going to be banned. Most likely banned to Ubers relatively quickly once access to Pokemon Home comes around. And Basculegion is way more powerful and way more overpowered than Houndstone is, even though it has the ability Sandrush and Fluffy. The fact that you have a Pokemon that is way more powerful than a Pokemon that exists as well, that is going to be coming into the bad game that is a similar typing and also be water type as well, and that Pokemon is going to be banned from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. as well. So, yeah. A lot of the others are either legendaries or really overpowered Pokemon like Powerfin. Powerfin's gonna stay banned as well because of its ability Zero to Hero. Zero to Hero is a very overpowered move. The Paradox Pokemon are very overpowered. They're going to continue to stay bad in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And yeah. And Annihilate is bad because of the move Rage Fist. And people say, but it's just bad to move. But yeah, Pokemon now, you have a Pokemon that has way less use. Pokemon that has way less used. Primeape. Okay. Yeah, because it's not in the full evolved meta, but Primeape is pretty powerful in that area. With Eviolite as well. But most people have said that they didn't get the same results using Primeape compared to Annihilate, which is why Annihilate has been banned. The other Pokemon that have avoided being banned to Ubers were Goldango, Chien-Pao avoided a ban to Ubers, and Dragonite avoided a ban to Ubers, and Terastallization avoided being banned, which makes Pokemon like Dragonite pretty overpowered due to Terastallization. And it makes Pokemon now underused or rarely used in previous games pretty overpowered like Dragonite as well. The sole reason why Dragonite is pretty powerful in the metagame is because of Terastallization as well. But banning these Pokemon are of course going to make more Pokemon useful in the metagame, useful in the Pokemon meta as well. And you might see Pokemon that will surge as well in the meta. So this is the card OU. Of course, the free bad Pokemon are bad from OU. And we have the card OUS right now. And yeah, now Pokemon Home is compatible, so you can see Pokemon from previous games. For example, Cinderace is here being put into OU because Cinderace was already pretty overpowered as well. And you can see other Pokemon become more and more relevant as more Pokemon become more bad to higher TLs. Specifically when legendary Pokemon will be transferred from Pokemon Home. Because certain legendaries and wild legends Arceus Pokemon will be able to be transferred from Pokemon Home. And these Pokemon will be able to be used in OU TLs and high TLs as well. So yeah, Dragonite did get bad. No, Gagator, Goldango, all did get bad. Which means those Pokemon will not be bad to Ubers.